Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy all, Red O'Loughlin here. We're on the Corner Bookstore on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. When I'm not a TV host, which happens every Thursday, I have 3 shows back to back to back. The first one is this one. Next show is called The Wise Ones, and then I finally have another show called Talking Heads. And when I'm not doing the TV shows, I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships, treat a cause, fix a problem, treat symptoms, and you'll always be treating symptoms. I specialize in longevity, age-related diseases. That's what I write about. That's what I speak about. I also help people get their books written. I also help I got 50 plus books that I have done for other people. I just got one done here last week for a local person here in the United States in Mississippi. And last month I did one for a guy in Dubai, and working with another one right now. Anyway, lots of things going on in my life, but today the show is about Jacky Ragnarovna. I hope I said that right. Ragnarovna. Anyway, Jacky is a little different than most of our authors on the show because she's a content creator. She has quite a few, about 450 plus videos on YouTube. And so please welcome Jacky. Join me up here on stage.
Thanks for having me, Red. And Ragnarovna, it's wonderful to hear how many people try to say it in their various ways. But
I have lots of problems with people with my last name, and I think it was pretty simple, but for whatever reason, it becomes very difficult. But the issue today is you create content, but you don't create content on paper and sell it as a book. You create content in a video world.
Yeah.
Is that a fair way of stating it?
Yep. So with YouTube, there's a lot of there's a community of people who love to get together and talk about the books that we read, and people step up and make videos to kind of lead the discussion. And when I started the channel because I found myself having lots of thoughts about books, but not a lot of people to talk to. So it was like I couldn't talk to the greater world in general and see who's out there, who's listening. And I've been able to connect with people. Mostly it's the US, but now around the world too, of just we like an author and we share thoughts.
The process you go through is similar, I'm sure, to what you would be doing if you're writing a book. Because you have a thought you want to get out. And in your particular world, you specialize in fantasy. Is that correct?
Yes. I compare it like to article writing, where it's basically I do weekly videos. So every week I sit down and I'm like, okay, what do I want to write about? Do I want to do a book review? Do I want to theorize? And how do I take my viewers along with me on my process of review, on my process of why I think such and such thing is going to happen in the next book, and really analyzing myself of like, how did I reach that conclusion, and then writing it out and bringing people along for the ride in a fun way, I hope.
What sources do you use?
So what I love about epic fantasy is that these authors are drawing from, especially modern authors, will draw from culture context, ancient philosophy, religion, the epics, the canon that like makes up a lot of English literature, but they engage in it in a very fresh way. And so a big series that I reviewed is called The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. And it just came out with its big 5th book. It's like the midpoint of the series, kind of mid-season finale, as it were. And going into this book, there were lots of questions about how it ends. And I'm reading his book seeing like, this reminds me a lot of Dante's Divine Comedy. And heck, this building he's just made looks a lot like Dante's Mount Purgatory. And at the end of Dante's Purgatorio, the mentor gets thrown off the top of the mountain and goes back to hell so that the pilgrim character can ascend to the heavens. So I'm like, I think that's how book 5 is going to end. And then you'll have to read to find out if I was right, but I'm kind of bragging about it here. So subtextually spoilers, but yeah, it was very gratifying to see my thought process get proved correct in this particular instance. Other times it's just kind of building off of tropes and feeling where the author seems to be going and then taking the viewers along with me for the ride.
Do you consider Dante's Inferno to be a fantasy?
It's
rather dark.
Well, it has a happy ending because Inferno, and it's book 1. You have to start go to the lowest point so you can get to the highest, and that's actually a very similar arc of how Brandon Sanderson writes his books. It's like throw the character into their worst place imaginable, then see them climb out. So I don't, because like it's not modern fantasy. If anything, I'd say it's what's his name? Homer fan fiction.
Fiction, definitely. But
yeah, it's but he sets a lot of tropes or molds of the hero's journey, the epic, what is the lowest point. Like he sets the roadmap for that, and then modern epic writers take that, epic fantasy writers take that, and then they're more involved in like, okay, how do we make these characters approachable to a modern audience? How do we make these characters empathetic to a modern reader? Dante doesn't care about any of that. He's got an agenda and he's going to take you there. He's not trying to make, well, he makes himself sympathetic, but the people that you pass by on the way aren't, either they're supposed to be sympathetic or just amazing. Whereas like epic fantasy, I see as like they go out of their way to make the villains sympathetic, or at least that you can empathize with them. So it really helps broaden the reader's ability to empathize with people, which is what I really enjoy about engaging with this fandom, as well as you have people self-selecting who want to empathize and connect with others. And I try to make my channel to be a bastion of, I'm here, let's talk, let's empathize, let's disagree, but also politely. So
yeah, I found Dante's Inferno interesting because it's originally written in Italian and it's a poem, and so you have the rhyming in Italian, but you convert that to English. I had to look at a lot of the footnotes to get, okay, what does that really mean? And it was difficult on a good day, but anyway, it was something that I'm glad I did go through and did so. But when you're scripting out next week or next month, how far out in advance do you kind of figure your content for?
I'm kind of a procrastinator among YouTube. I do mine week by week. I've tried to do them month batches, but it's just kind of like I do one project, I see it done, and then I need a day break, and then I start the other one. Like this week, my video is kind of the week I'm publishing this week is about who a mystery character might be. I have 3 theories based off of 3 different tropes and archetypes that we see in fantasy and how it might apply to this character. So that's one thing. And then I found myself during writing this video kind of obsessing over the question of, okay, this one character is from this place, but because the books are very interconnected and spatially spread apart, and so it was this question of like, how could she exist in this future date to be basically a second character's wife? And so I got into that just thinking for myself. I'm like, could she be alive then? And then working for myself, like how the magic system works, how he's explained it. And I'm like, oh yes, she could. So then I ended up I recorded that, and then I had to cut like 6 minutes out of the video because I'm like, I just go on and on and on about the magic system for 6 minutes that has nothing to do with the rest of the video. So now that's the basis of next week's video. So they kind of build to each other in that process as well.
What kind of timing do you allow for your videos? What's your shooting point? So like today, it's 40 minutes for me. I want to spend right at 40 minutes. When that thing hits 4, we're done. So that's what I look for. But what do you set up for your goal each week?
About 20 to 24 minutes. I used to aim for about 10 minutes because I remember when YouTube, that's what it was. It was a 10-minute video and you had to be done. But then I found that more viewers were looking for long form content. So with YouTube going into shorts, it's like you either make a minute long or you go for at least 20 minutes. And I can talk a lot. So about 24 minutes is where I find is the sweet spot of how long my viewers are willing to watch me. And then it also is full enough for me to express the ideas that I have, but I also have to narrow my ideas down to fit into that 24-minute period. So it balances out nicely.
Do you have any favorite YouTube content creators that you would like to emulate, or you learn something from them when you watch them?
So I think my channel, I got a lot of inspiration from Hello Future Me. He's, oh gosh, Australian or from New Zealand. I know they're very picky about which one it is, and I can't remember. I think he's Australian. Because he was the first that I really saw of, he's doing the book reviews, but he's also analyzing it in like the context of world history, of philosophy, of all the thoughts. So there was a very popular television program called Avatar: The Last Airbender that I loved to watch as I grew up, and he did as well. And he released a series of videos comparing the war as it was depicted in this show for children of all ages, but included children, and comparing it to actual events of the Pacific theater for World War II, so the war with Japan. And he was grounded, articulate. He went to Japan, filmed there. It was amazing. So his unique blend of, let's take works of fiction that we know are based on reality in some way and use those as a lens to look at reality. And I find it very disarming. It's like, I mean, you do have to give trigger warnings and engage people, but I find that lots of people, especially today, can like, oh, let's talk about X hard-hitting subject. and that can put up their defenses. But if you start with, hey, we both like this book, here's what I think this book has to say about X hard-hitting subject, that can get people into that conversation with so much less confrontation, because you're coming from like a common ground. We're talking about this together in a way that I think is difficult to establish without it, really.
Do you use an outline or a script or anything just so you kind of keep yourself without getting too far off track?
I write down basically a verbatim script of what I think I'm going to say, but then my script is always before me on the camera, and the camera's up here. So when I'm looking at that camera, anything can come out of my mouth. And so we try to reshoot and make sure that what I say lines up close enough to my script to make sure that my joke, like sometimes I do like video clips as jokes and things like that. So it's like, got to make sure I've got those set up correctly. Got to make sure I have the general thought, but it helps me organize my mind to just write it all out one way at least. So I can stick to that.
What have you done to personally improve the quality of your speaking and organization and video appeal?
So when I started, I was very shy and had a little animated character and just did voiceovers with the little character that I was kind of stop motion animating along the way, which worked when it was lockdown and I had nothing better to do. But as lockdown started coming up, and people were giving me context of like, yeah, that character is not incredibly well drawn, and it wasn't. So switching over to having my face, as that's engaging more people, switching over to, I got a better microphone, and just continuing to practice speaking in an understandable cadence.
Do you use AI for any part of your research?
Not for my research. Like,
well, if you're in 17th century fantasy world on, with the Romulans, I don't know. It's
like AI, especially for research, I find very it can go down rabbit holes so quickly. What did I find? Like, I had like AI try to recommend titles for my video once, and they were like, character name 1, who's like the father figure of character name 2, and then their suggestion was like secretly married or something like that. It's like, no, please don't. Like, especially like, I find that AI, it goes down rabbit holes. It can mistake a Reddit article for the undiluted truth, and some Reddit articles are, most aren't. So it's something I avoid AI for research. I think it's good for, like, if you feed it your thoughts, it can help organize them. But that's kind of, I don't use that for writing my own scripts. It's more like for my day job, where I'm like, here is a huge list of data, make me a chart. So that's where I see AI coming in helpful, which just doesn't have much to do with my YouTube channel at all.
Okay, well, we're coming up on a station break here, commercial break, very shortly. And when we come back, I want to go into the area of your YouTube covers for each one of your videos, how you produce those. I use AI to help some of my authors get their covers done. That's a different way of using AI, but we're not going to go down that road today because it's about you. But let's come back after the break, and that's the direction I want to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Red Laughlin here. We're on the Corner Bookstore on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My guest today is Jacky Ragnarovna, and she is a content creator on YouTube. So, Jacky, please join me back here again.
Hello again.
We were just going down the road of each one of your videos has its own, I'm going to say cover image, cover
Thumbnail.
image. Thumbnail, that's the word. Anyway, you create each of those yourself?
Yes. Actually just hired someone to help me create the video coming out this Saturday, because I don't have the best click-through rate, but trying to keep to the principles of having a headshot with an expression very big so that everyone can see it, and then like a photo or a fan art of the topic of the thing, of the video, if it's a known character, and then just a quick like 2-word phrase of what's it going to be about, so that people can see it quickly and decide whether or not they want to click.
I went to a YouTube training session not quite a year ago, and the thumbnails that you're talking about was one of those. You got 5 different kinds or so. If you're in this genre, this is what people expect or like or see, and this is what makes them click into that video. And I thought it was a pretty decent psychological assessment of people that like sci-fi or romance or whatever the video is about. They have a certain predilection of what they're there for. And so when I'm looking at yours, I see various things. Obviously, you have your shiny face and expression depending on what's going on with that particular video. And so I was just kind of curious, is that Canva that you're using or some other software?
I've used Adobe Photoshop. They're great with because generally my expression is coming from the video I just shot. So I take a screen shot and then I need to get rid of all this wonderful set behind me to put me on a blank background, and then they're also helpful with that. So yeah, Photoshop, and about 20 minutes is about what it takes for me to make a thumbnail.
Okay. Do you do your own shorts?
I do. Yeah, where I'm finding I use for shorts more is in my long form content. I used to put a lot of video clips in to underline something that I thought was a funny joke, but I'm finding that long form viewers don't like that as much. So rather than insert it in a longer video, just kind of take that joke out and make it into a short and try to give the context for it. As this week, I use a scene from Santa Claus 2 about a character discovering he has to get married to refer to a situation that a popular character is going to be in. So because that is the title and content of my long form video, but rather than have that short as part of the video, just made it its own thing.
How do you market yourself?
So mostly it's just through connections on YouTube and through Instagram mostly now, and Threads. The appearing on other people's threads, talking to other content creators. I don't have a paid. I don't pay to advertise my channel yet. Trying to work towards like a revenue neutral situation right now. So mostly it's just showing up to maybe conventions, speaking on the panels, and then just talking to other fans.
Do you have any merchandise you sell?
I have stickers that I give away at conventions, with the hand-drawn character that used to be the entire brand face of my channel is now just the channel icon. So I give those stickers away, and like every so often I hear something and I'm like, I should make that into a t-shirt, and then kind of log that away for when I can, when I feel the time is right.
What's the genesis for Me, My Skirt, and I?
So I was traveling across Europe during grad school, and it was a study abroad and then like a youth group or young adult group meeting in Poland. So I went from Rome to Poland basically all by myself, and I wear skirts a lot. So whenever I'm describing me doing something alone, especially that particular trip, it's just like, oh, here I am out on my own, me, my skirt, and I. And then it was very much that same feeling of opening up this YouTube channel of I'm embarking on this big mission, like kind of trip, big adventure just on my own again. And although I have become mostly a Brandon Sanderson style channel, I never wanted my channel name to be like a Brandon Sanderson fangirl. Like, I didn't want to be identified as that, because I do want to write my own books. I do want to talk about multiple various books. And so I wanted a title that can encompass all of that as well. So not tied to one fandom, but very much a sentiment of how I felt embarking on this mission.
How many books do you think you reviewed on YouTube over this time?
Oh gosh, I went into a writing heavy field because I'm terrible at math and numbers. Because I've done at least the entire Cosmere, which is like, I want to say 30 books right now, plus the entire Wheel of Time, which is 15 books. So let's just go up to like 100, because I've done other books.
So you spent a lot of time. You spent a lot of time reading just for pleasure, or reading in preparation for your shows?
It's a mix. I'm an avid audiobook reader. If I'm driving anywhere, I don't think I've listened to the radio in like almost 4 years, and if it has been, it's been on accident. So I'm always listening to a book, and it's like I listen to what I think I'll enjoy, mostly fantasy, and then will probably, if I do enjoy it, I will review it. It's with kind of starting this as much more of a hobby. It's like I'm going to review what I'm reading naturally, and I don't feel like shoehorned into being forced to read something for the sake of the channel.
So if you're driving down the road and you don't know there's a blockage down there that's going to hold you up for 2 hours, you don't care, because you got the audiobook there and you're just enjoying life.
Oh yeah, there's definitely where I've been like, I'm gonna take the scenic route home because this is like chapter 47 out of 50. This is the final chapter. Like, this is the final battle. Like, we're gonna go for it. Or there was one time I was driving from Minnesota to Colorado to meet my family, and I was just in the car, just totally engaged. And I called my parents. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there tonight. I can make it. And then I stopped for gas and had to like get out of the audiobook headspace, and then was like, actually, I am exhausted and should probably stop operating a vehicle. So I had to recall them there. But yeah, it's definitely makes driving so much more enjoyable, I find.
I was listening to a audiobook, and we were driving through Atlanta, and the book was in the Pantanal part of Brazil, and they were in a plane, and the guy was talking about being thrown up and down and back and forth in the rainstorm and the thunder. And that was exactly what was happening to me as I was driving. The thunder would be there, and we'd be turning, and I had to turn it off because it was reinforcing everything that was actually happening to me in real life. Just very coincidentally, it just after about 2 minutes, I couldn't take it. It overloaded. It was just really and truly amazing how the senses can just get so involved with what's going on.
Yeah.
My wife was driving back cross country many years ago, no radio, and she ended up driving into a hurricane she didn't even know existed because, she's there for 15 hours driving that day, whatever it was, at point A to point B. It didn't matter. But the water got so high, but she said, she just got behind a truck and stayed there for hours. And, when they left, she had to find another truck. But anyway, it's interesting how we develop our preferences for driving and listening and whatever. But your viewers, what was your feeling like the first time you saw 1,000 views on your YouTube channel?
It's exciting to think like that 1,000 people care about what I have to say. I think that the most excited that I've had, or where I really felt like I've made some level of notoriety, is when I was volunteering at a convention, just helping check people in. And the person comes up to me in line and is like, "Me, my skirt, and I." And I'm like, "Viewer!" And that was the kind of biggest level of like, I have fans who know who I am. And yeah, seeing that little blue line they give you on YouTube go up, like with my friends, it's like they know that it's like I try not to define my self-worth based on my views. But if I'm having like an average week, but that blue line is up there, it's a great week. If I'm having an average week and the blue line is not doing so hot, it's fine. It's fine. So we try to keep a healthy sense of self-worth while also enjoying it when things are going good.
I checked just before the show. You have almost 3,000 subscribers to your channel. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. How would you identify your typical viewer?
Right now I think most of my audience is pretty good mix of male and female. Epic fantasy tends to skew more towards the male audience. So the fact that I'm a woman out there speaking about this is interesting. It's different. And that I'm talking about it, like I can, in one video, I went from like Einstein's theory of relativity to like the tropes of like romantic genre of relationships, and explaining how both can be at play in a single relationship of these characters. So I think my viewers are coming to me because I have such a wide range of sources that I'm pulling from to pull together and make a comprehensive theory. I'm not just stuck in like the science land or just in the trope land. I try to combine both, or just the philosophy land, because it's in there. But what I think we all like about these books is that the author combines all those things. So when I'm making my videos, I'm trying to combine all of those things in a recipe I think emulates the author that we're discussing. So I think that's what my viewers are looking for. And then they also enjoy my sense of humor as well.
Okay, so for authors, they have a series that they go through. When you're doing the books, you're looking at a series of books. Do you have any series of topics that you talk about outside of the books that you continually go back to and kind of pick up and extend a little bit further?
So one thing that I try to do, and have tried to various ways of bringing this into my channel, is going back to like the epics, like the classics, the Dante's Inferno, the I read Milton's I read Milton's Paradise Lost for the channel. That's actually one where I gave myself homework. I'm like, I know all these authors are riffing off of it. How do I do, like, I need to read this. So then I had like a couple of videos where it's like Paradise Lost in this book, Paradise Lost as it appears in this other book. And that's like, I started the channel kind of in grad school. I was reading, I had a course on the Divine Comedy, and then I kind of etched out in the notes on the side my thoughts of how it related to a popular anime that I was watching at the time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And so that's like the first series I did on my channel, where just kind of the crack notes from my master's class, but talking about it for this anime, it comes full circle in that way. And so when I do it now, I've learned that advertising a video as how Divine Comedy works in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood doesn't, like, the YouTube algorithm doesn't know what to do with that. So what I found as a way of marketing it better is stylizing it as theory videos, but then in the theory video, I sneak it in there. Like this character is kind of, sort of, definitely an analog for Dante's Pilgrim, and this character is kind of, sort of, definitely an analog for Dante is Virgil. So when we get to the top of Mount Purgatory that looks like this building, Virgil's gonna go down and it will be epic. So circling it back so that I can use the algorithm wisely to reach people who want to hear this, but also get my perspective in there.
Okay, we're at that point in time where I promised you a minute or so to tell people how they can get in touch with you, how they can support you.
Okay, so I'm on YouTube as Me, My Skirt, and I channel, also on Instagram as Me, My Skirt, and I, and I do have a Patreon, Me, My Skirt, and I, as well. You can be a free member of that, or a paid member. So yeah, subscribe, like, watch my videos, comment. Like, any form of engagement helps boost my perception, my perception of in the world, helps me connect with people who want to hear what I have to say. And I want to hear what other people have to say as well. Like, this week's video would not have happened if not for a commenter who was like, well, actually, have you considered blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I had not considered that. That is very interesting. So I revised my thoughts and came up with this video. So I can be persuaded.
Okay, you're flexible.
I'm flexible. I'm online to discuss, to honestly discuss with people and to engage with them. I'm not, there are a few things that I won't bend on. So everything else, let's talk about it.
Okay, we're going to wrap up today, and I look forward to seeing you sometime in the future. Jacky Ragnarovna. And anyway, so please, thank you very much. I really enjoyed our conversation today, and I look forward to our next endeavor together.
Awesome. Thank you.
Red O'Loughlin, we're concluding the Corner Bookstore today. My next show is called The Wise Ones, and my guest today is Bill Brown. For 30 years, he was the play-by-play announcer for the Houston Astros. He's retired, and he'll be my guest. So please join me next week. Take care, y'all. Bye now.
From the magical world of the amazing adventures of Lady Ella comes a heartwarming new journey filled with kindness, courage, and compassion. Lady Ella, the beloved ladybug and listening mentor, is back, and this time she is not alone. Meet her brave and thoughtful brother, Lord Jack. Together, they take flight on their very first kindness adventure. Along the way, they meet 3 new friends in need: a duck feeling discouraged, a mouse struggling to be understood, and a busy little bee who's completely lost. But with the power of elevated listening and simple acts of kindness, Lady Ella and Lord Jack show us how understanding and empathy can make the biggest difference in someone's day. Written by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, this 9th book in the best-selling Lady Ella series teaches children ages 5 to 10 the essential skills of listening, kindness, and etiquette. Now available for pre-order on Amazon. Scan the QR code and order your copy today.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.